Hi, my name is Dom. The poem I'm going to be analyzing this week is by Langston Hughes. It's on page 1662 of the textbook. It is called Harlem. My basic understanding of the poem is simply Langston Hughes, or the speaker in the piece of literature, is reflecting on what happens when someone defers their dream. Potentially it's their dream in life, their dream and their goals, you could say. When someone changes it or alters their dream to pursue something maybe more reasonable. And so his question is simply, what happens to a dream deferred? He spends the majority or the rest of the poem further asking questions about this question. He begins with a few negatives. I would say the first three questions are negatives. Does it dry up? Or and then does it run? Does it just disappear? Does it fester like a sore and then run? And does it stink like rotten meat? So is it really negative? Is it something that never leaves someone's mind and they live always thinking about this dream that they should have pursued, but instead they deferred it? But then he kind of transitions in line, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 6, he transitions, which seems like a strange place to transition. He says, does it stink like rotten meat? Transition into positive, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet. So I found that interesting there, that you would think it's going to continue in this negative thing, but then he changes his understanding of what could happen, and maybe it's more positive, and maybe it's just, you forget about the dream and you begin to enjoy the life that you're living apart from the dream, and it's crusted over and forgotten about, and it's sugary and enjoyable. But then it seems he comes back and says, but maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Maybe it's just there forever and never goes away and is always suffering or thought. And then he says, or does it explode? And that's his final question. I find it interesting the punctuation he chooses with maybe it just sags like a heavy load is less a question but more of a statement. And or does it explode is kind of on its own in the layout of the poem. And I would say it's his just internal reflection on when you move on from a dream. That's what I've got. Thanks for enduring with me.